Welcome, everybody, to another great episode of the Alford Sports Talk Show. Welcome. It's always awesome to have this show. Awesome to be with you guys. We're going to have a fantastic time. And if you are on YouTube, I am live right now on YouTube. Visit the live stream at Alan Alford. There you go. Just type in Alan Alford in the search bar, come right up. So before we get the show officially started, we want to welcome you in tonight and want to thank our wonderful sponsor, Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce. So delicious and addicting, you may need a support group. So definitely feel free to visit Chef G's at flbbqsauce.com. Again, that's flbbqsauce.com. And go ahead and visit the website, see any one of the four great flavors. I have classic, you have heat wave, honey mustard, and fusion. And then if you want to be even more ambitious, come down and see Chef G's at 301 South 22nd Street, right here in beautiful Tampa, Florida. Definitely tell them that Alan Alford from the Chef Alan Alford Sports Talk Show sent you. Tell Chef G's I said hi. Definitely pick up your sauce at flbbqsauce.com. In fact, all of tonight's songs that you're going to be hearing is sang by none other than Sam Scola right out of Maine. So that was the intro song by Sam Scola. Now we're going to go ahead and play the Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce song sang by none other than Sam Scola. Let's play that tune right now, and we're going to go ahead and get started right after that. Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce. So delicious and addicting, you may need support crew. Definitely don't forget that sauce at flbbqsauce.com. So, yeah, we're going to kick off the show tonight. And I just want to let the listening audience know that I'm streaming YouTube live. Visit Alan Alford right there on YouTube. You can see me there. And you could join in like we normally always do right here on the phone. Phone number is 516 418 5572. Again, that's 516 418 5572. Feel free to call in and voice your opinion. But yes, folks, I'm going to gotta go ahead and get used to doing more live stream for you folks. I know that, it's usually audio most of the time, but I've gotten some requests to go ahead and do a few more live streams. So that's what I'm going to do. Make sure I do some more live streams. In fact, we have a live call on the phone right now. Let's bring them on and let's go ahead and kick off the show. Let's go ahead and do that for you right now, folks. Hey, how you doing so far tonight, Lou? It's working pretty good, but I'm not a pro yet like you. I got to get used to it. I got to get used to it. Like, you're the No, but you're doing more than me. I don't usually do too many live streams. So this is this is a rarity to me. This in fact probably is about the third or fourth, no more than four live streams I've done total. So it's like anything, when you do it more consistently, you get better. So I'm gonna try to do that for the fans, that I'm gonna try to make at least a goal of at least one or two times a month, if more. It depends. In fact, let me ask you that, Lou. What do you think about doing live streams? Awesome. So there you go. Lou endorses doing the video live stream. So I got to get used to doing that more frequently with you guys. We're gonna work through it together and perfect the craft. But it is cool. It is cool. That's for sure. Modern technology. Yeah. So yeah, a lot of stuff going on this weekend. What are your thoughts on? Let me get your first and foremost your thoughts on Bill Belichick. I wasn't so surprised. I just don't think I wasn't so surprised, because there were rumblings that he was going to be out. He had a really tough season, so I wasn't surprised. But I wasn't saying like I would write it in stone that he was gone. But I wasn't surprised. But yeah, it didn't catch me by surprise that he did it. They were talking about it, and he did have probably, if record shows, the worst season of his career. So it was inevitable something was going to happen. Yeah, so it was inevitable. Yeah, so you're right. That's unfortunate, but it is a situation where I think it was time to move on. Yeah, so in life that sometimes happens. It's one of those things that unfortunately I think it ran its course. Neither side has anything to feel bad about. 24 years in the league coaching, you know, that's phenomenal. I mean, if you can make it in the NFL or any level of coaching, to do it for 24 years, that's nothing to hold your head down. Yeah, exactly. I mean, you're exactly right. Bill Belichick to me is a fantastic coach. He really is. Whether you liked him or not, you cannot disagree his results. And I know a lot of people put his success was on Brady, but to me, yes, Brady was an elite quarterback, but they worked together. Like this, Belichick trained him. So it's a partnership as far as I'm concerned. And I do think they both leaned on each other, and both of each other helped each other out throughout their careers. That's what I look at it as. Like, you know what? It was a situation where he helped him out and vice versa. But yeah, Yeah, I mean, it's 24 years is a great run. At the end of the day, there's nothing to feel bad about. That's a great run. Yeah, so nothing wrong with that at all. And what are your thoughts on the replacement, Gerard Mayo? I think so too. I mean, I think the biggest thing that they need to do, the Patriots fan, is not compare Gerard Mayo to Bill Belichick. Like you need, I totally agree. You cannot. I mean, with all respect, due respect, he's a young guy. I'm very glad he got the position. I'll talk more details about that later, but he doesn't have any head coaching experience. So you cannot expect someone who's new to have that type of success. Now, has it happened? Of course, but sometimes that could be fool's gold, and he simply just doesn't have head coaching experience. So right, so you need to, as a fan, you need to just say, you know what, I have to give him his fair due. He doesn't have head coaching experience, and on top of that, I can't compare him to Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick is a vet who's been in the league a long time. I mean, before he got the coaching gig, you can almost say he was a head coach. He was working with Bill Parcells, and he had a lot of experience. I mean, not head coaching experience till he got the position, but he had a lot of experience in the NFL. Yeah, so people need to understand that, and that's the thing. But it's gonna be really interesting to see. Do you have any predictions for this weekend? Any games that you are excited to see? I don't know. I think the Bills. I think the Bills are a team that they coming in the playoffs pretty hot. I do think they'll survive the first round. With all due respect to Steelers, I do think they'll get past the first round. I'm not too sure about the Dolphins, and I don't know if the Texans. Yeah, that is interesting. I mean, they don't say that because there's a way that they can sell the stream for more money to someone else, to the highest bidder. They'll do it. I mean, let's look at the weekend schedule. Just this weekend schedule, folks. You have Fubu, another streaming service is well, they actually have it for. I should take that back. They have for NBC and Fubo on Saturday's game, the early game, the Texans versus the Browns. The Dolphins and the Chiefs are exclusively, as you said, on Peacock. And then Sunday's game, the Bills, you can catch it on CBS, stream on Paramount, or CBS or Paramount. the Packers and Cowboys on Fubo, and also the Rams and Lions game is on NBC in Fubo. So the Lions game is on NBC in Fubo. And on Monday they have a game too, the Eagles versus the Bucks. That's on ABC, ESPN, and Fubo. So you're right. The only game that is this weekend where it's only one singular service is the Dolphins versus the Chiefs. Peacock. That's it. Every other weekend game does have another option for you. You understand? There is another second option. What? Okay, I misread it. I'm sorry. You're right. Packers, Cowboys, ET, Fox, and Fubo. I'm sorry. I looked over. Yeah, Fubo. It's on all three. On I misread it. Yes, it does say Fox. Yeah, I mean, yeah, obviously, yeah, yep. So you said what update you got? Okay, let me just see something here. Yeah, it's always great when they have a competitive game. That's all you can ask for is the game to be competitive. Yeah, you're right. I mean, 63-3. Yeah, that is something to be. Yep. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that's pretty tough right there. Woo. Mm. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that is some score right. Oh yes, to say the least. That's for sure. But I hope not too. I hope not too. Yeah, it's they don't call it Black Monday for no reason there, it lived up to that name. Well, one thing that's interesting is that this weekend you're going to be broadcasting during the playoff games. Let us know what we're going to expect to see during the playoffs. Oh yeah, this guy's no rookie to the game. He's catching up to Bill Belichick, and actually, he could catch him. He could catch him now because Bill Belichick, as for now, is out of a job. But I don't know. He'll find some ways, right? Because and that's a great point. I think this was more of a meeting of the minds. I think this is what I believe happened. I believe they offered Bill some money, but I think they offered him a ridiculously low amount that they knew he was not going to accept. That's what I think happened. This is what they do in corporate America. When you're too tenured, they will actually give you a low ball offer, a ridiculously low offer that maybe is around like a rookie, maybe a little bit more than a rookie. They'll give that to you knowing there is probably a 3% chance you will accept it. And they do that because they could always say, well, at least we gave him something. You knew you were giving him an offer that he was not going to take, he or she, but you can always say, well, at least we gave him an offer, you know, to appease the masses. That's what I think happened with Bill Belichick. I think because he did so poorly, they were going to kind of like demote him financially. I think they gave him an offer. This is my opinion. That was just ridiculously low. And he said, nope, I'm not taking that. That is way below my standard. I know I had off. Yeah, I think that's way below my standard. I'm not accepting it. Well, you sure it's a great deal for a coach that only won, I believe, 3 games last year. They flipped it like that and they tried to sell it like it was a good offer. And I don't think Bill was buying it at all. I don't think he was like angry to the point where he wanted to fight about it, but he probably disappointed. And he said, you know what? We'll just part ways amicably. That's what I think happened. I was a bit surprised about that one. Yes. I don't think I don't the loss I don't think had everything to do with it. I know it was a tough loss, but I don't think the loss was the fact of him retiring. You think that's what it was? Okay. Okay. I just, when you go to national championships, as great of a coach you are, you can't, nobody can guarantee a victory. That's just the way it is. So, it comes with the territory that sometimes especially when you're doing it such a long time like him, you're going to get some L's. You're going to get some wins, but you're going to get a few L's in there too. That's just the nature of the beast. So, I didn't think the loss was the only factor. I think you're right though, to a certain degree. I think he was thinking about it prior to this year, probably for the last couple years. And I think the fact that he lost and he was like, you know what, screw it, I'm out. You know what I mean? Right. I think that played a part. So let's do the flip side. Let's say he won. Do you think he would have stuck around, or you still think he would have retired? Okay. Yeah, I mean, when it comes to Alabama, you always assume that they're going to win. When Nick Saban's coaching. Yeah, I mean, those are big shoes to fill. I know who's a great coach of the fans, and that's you, because you got the big time show. So, what else are you going to be talking about on Saturday's show? All right, cool. So, yeah, so it sounds like you're gonna have a fantastic show. Absolutely. I'm so sorry I missed last week's show. I apologize about that, but I will be on the show to you know. Yeah, absolutely. I apologize, fans. You had a big crowd. Whoa! So he's coming out. He's swinging the big bat there. He's coming out the gates. Oh man, is wow. That's a great start to the year. I apologize. I should have been. It should have been an and one. Awesome, man. Yeah, I mean, I don't doubt it at all. You be killing the game, man. It's not good. It's great. You're fantastic, man, at what you do. You keep 7 years plus in the game. And folks, he's gonna be on YouTube just like me. Yeah, exactly. You've made a great point that a lot of times people don't understand that anytime you're starting anything, whether it's sports talk show, whether it's any type of show on YouTube, any platform, Facebook, Instagram, there is a process. That's a great thing that Lou said. There's a process. It doesn't happen overnight. A lot of times people see these big time shows that have a lot of followers, subscribers. Folks, it takes time. That's part of success. It's a process. Yeah, exactly. I'm right there with you to have a sports show and you're gonna keep growing and growing. In fact, he's on YouTube, folks, tomorrow between 4 and 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time Zone. The Enhanced Sports Show. Just type in Enhanced Sports Show. But yeah, we're doing big things. And the nice thing about it is like this. Bob Costas, he was in the game for a long time. That's where people don't understand is that when you see a person that's up there, even if it's social media, podcasting or social media, like have a lot of followers, you see the success, but you don't see the journey. The journey is part of the process. you know, yeah. Well, you know what? Sometimes it's the hookup. It's not in business. Sometimes it's not what you know. It's not what you know. Sometimes it's who you know. It's a lot of times. That's right though. I mean, you great point. You got to be talented. You got to be great. But sometimes knowing the right person at the right time makes a difference between you getting it. It's sometimes it's not even like that. It's sometimes it's just the fact that you know somebody, they know you, they're comfortable with you. You know, yeah, it's just there's a big or friend or neighbor. It's also networking. Networking. You know someone, they know you. That's it. In fact, folks, I'm gonna talk more about networking and connections in the next segment. But yes, that is a big part of success. Yeah, okay. 512-543-4662. The Enhanced Sports Show, 4 to 6 p.m. Definitely support my great friend Lou, Eastern Standard Time Zone, 4 to 6, East Coast time. That's right. Well, I appreciate you, Lou. Always a pleasure. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely. All right. Have a blessed night. You're welcome. Bye bye now. It's a great show supporter, Lou from the Enhanced Sports Show. Make sure you guys support Lou, the Enhanced Sports Show, 4 to 6 p.m. tomorrow, Eastern Standard Time Zone. As he mentioned, you can check him on YouTube just like me. Just type in Enhanced Sports Show. You'll see Great Lou, or you can call in 512-543-4662. Again, it's 512-543-4662, and check him out. And I definitely, speaking of connections and knowing people, I have to on YouTube give major props to Youth Man. Youth Man, type in Youthman. You will go ahead and type his name in. Probably the first video you'll see. Make sure you subscribe, but also more importantly, definitely subscribe. You will see a video there that has it says budget home theater. It was just uploaded yesterday and it's doing phenomenal. That budget home theater is yours truly, my family's and mine home theater as well as game room. That's right. Game room and home theater. Never in my wildest dreams or imagination coming from Brooklyn, New York, rough part of Brooklyn. Some things I'll talk about another time, another show, but it was real tight quarters, really cramped in for us to go ahead and move from that situation to living where we're at now, where you have a huge game room and movie theater. I used to love watching MTV Cribs, but having Michael Stevens, aka Youth Man, come in, film your game room and movie theater is something that I cannot describe in words. I am beyond grateful and appreciative of that blessing and that opportunity. And sometimes in life, God will send somebody to you to bless you. And that's what happened in this situation. Make a long story short, I can't even make this stuff up. We had a local homeowners association. I went to the meeting. I actually strolled into the meeting about 5 minutes late. I hate being late for anything, but I was about 5 minutes late. Went through the homeowner association meeting. Usually those meetings are not, it's great socialization, but there's usually not much going on that's really so intricate and so interesting. Way out, my neighbor said, "Hey, my husband was talking to someone, one of his clients. My husband raved about your movie theater. Coincidentally, he has a big time YouTube channel and he wants to do a collaboration with you." I was like, "All right, that sounds interesting." They gave me his card. Lo and behold, I called, spoke to, Michael Stevens, aka Loose Man. And, he told me about his YouTube channel. I checked it out, and his YouTube channel was vast, over 100 and now 129,000 subscribers. And I was like, and that's what he does. He films movie theaters. So I was like, man, that's awesome. But I do want to give you a realistic expectation. I love my movie theater. My family loves it. Friends and neighbors, they love it. However, I do not have a multi-million-dollar home theater system. I didn't want to have an unrealistic expectation. I love it to death, but it isn't a multi-million-dollar, movie theater room. I just wanted to be honest with that. And I was, and he was like, "You know what? My audience loves, something that's budget friendly. They would love to see what your movie theater looks like." I was like, "All right." Lo and behold, we did that filming, and now it became a reality. So that is a tremendous blessing because, again, for somebody to come into your home and do a recording is just something I cannot put in words as far as blessing. I mean, I'm from, like I said, I'm from Brooklyn, New York. We all know what runs around all over the projects and stuff like that. And it starts with an R, ends with an S. Y'all let you guys figure that out. No matter how clean you are, your neighbors got them. They just come to your house. So for me to be at a position where I could actually have that confidence to do that, that speaks volumes. So big major shout out to Michael Stevens and Youth Man. Type in Youth Man here on YouTube. You'll go ahead and get a tour of my game room and our family's movie theater. So it's our game room and our movie theater. I cannot take all the credit for it, but I will just say that is awesome. In fact, let me give Youth Man Michael Stevens a huge, huge round of applause, as well as giving God his praise for making that happen. That was all God. Yes, sir. So check that out. And definitely really, really cool stuff there. So to continue on with the sports, yes. And, we talked about Bill Belichick. I think the biggest thing that the Patriots fans need to do is not compare Gerard Mayo to Bill Belichick. Just remember that. Do not do that, because if you do that, that is going to be something that I feel like you're setting yourself up for failure. It's going to be a situation that you have to look at it for what it's worth. And what I mean by that is, hey, he's a new coach. He's coming into a new situation, and the nice thing about it is, when you come into new situations, he's a linebacker coach. He's a former player. He has a ring. That's fantastic, but he doesn't have any head coaching experience, and that is something you have to be mindful of. I think a lot of people think they want the team to win. It kind of like happened with the Orlando Guardians. As much as I respect and love Coach T Buck, Terrell Buckley, he was a rookie coach. He had, assistant here, and he did some, assistant job, but he was never the front and center head coach. And he got that opportunity through the XFL. So, me being a person who covers the league, I would even tell fans, hey, you have to be more patient. This is first year as a head coach. I know you want to win games, and there's going to be some opportunities that you might see where you can throw some criticism, so to speak, but you have to be mindful that this is part of the process. That's what it is. And I think people need to understand that give him some time, give him some opportunity. Do not compare Gerard Mayo to Bill Belichick. They're just two completely different people. Yes, Bill Belichick is, Gerard Mayo is the linebackers coach, but there's a big step up going from linebackers coach to a head coach. Let me just be front with that. When you're a head coach, another thing that happens is every single player who's going to approach you want an opportunity. Hey, put me in, coach. Hey, you got to give me that hookup. That's even players who are not in the league. So it is a different dynamic when you are the head coach. And I could tell you that from covering Coach Terrell Buckley of the XFL, former the Orlando Guardians. I mean, to this date, I have not interviewed anybody more times than Coach Buckley, which was probably about 50 times. And in fact, on that note, I am going to update the fans because I know they're curious about this, and I could feel the vibe. I don't have an answer yet from the UFL where the Allen Alfred Sports Talk show stands with covering the league. That's it's kind of like deja vu. It's like history repeating itself. Unfortunately, this is what I went through when I was trying to get into the XFL. Now I had a great year. Now I feel like I'm back to square one, where this is basically what I got. Like, emails not being answered. You kind of have to kind of follow up, and it's like this is circling the wagon again. I don't have an answer for you just yet. Just want to keep you up to date on that. As soon as I know, you guys will know. So I don't know. What I mean by that is I'm not sure at this point, January 12th, 2024, if I will be covering the UFL league in 2024. That is up in the air and to be determined. I've not heard back from the league yet. So We will go from there. I don't want to read too much into it, both positively or negatively, but time will tell. And having said that, I am definitely open to covering the UFL for 2024, but I'm also the type of person that, hey, if any relationship, I feel for you to have a vicarious relationship on both sides, it's got to be you want me and I want you, and you need me and I need you. It has to be a situation where it's a give and take. It can't be me giving all, you giving none, or vice versa. So it's got to be a situation like that. That's where I stand in any relationship, whether it's business, friendship, it's got to be a give and take. It can't just be one person taking and the other person just giving for you to have a harmonious relationship. So I don't have an answer yet. I will definitely let you know yes or no once that's to be determined. And with that being said, another thing that you have to look forward to is the Seahawks. Seahawks going to get a new coach. Pete Carroll has parted ways with the Seahawks. That did surprise me. I'd have to say Pete Carroll's, parting ways was a bit of a surprise. The Seahawks actually had a very, very good season. Geno Smith came back and, man, his career got resurrected over the last 2 seasons with Pete Carroll. I mean, that's just, you got to give Geno Smith and Pete Carroll credit on that. That was a real turnaround from someone being pretty much somebody that everybody, like he said, they wrote me off, but I didn't write back. And that's the truth. A lot of people written off Geno Smith and he came back. So props to Geno, props to Pete Carroll. Yeah. So Pete had a very, very exceptional career with the Seahawks. The only thing that I would say where I feel as if he made two big, big career blunders. Number one was Super Bowl 49 and calling that play to throw the ball down by at the 1.5 or 1 yard line. It was picked off. They end up losing the Super Bowl. The reason why I say two blunders, because to me, that, even though it's never been public, I could read between the lines. I've done enough research to see what was going on here. In my opinion, Pete Carroll had a fondness and was giving Russell Wilson a lot of favoritism throughout their second run to make it to the Super Bowl. Definitely you want to be cool with your coach. I'm sorry, you want to be cool with your, as a coach, head coach, you definitely want to have a great relationship with your quarterback. Absolutely. But I think it went overboard to favoritism and outward favoritism. The problem with that type of situation is you kind of make one person extremely happy at the expense of making a lot of people very jealous and unhappy. And that's what ended up happening with the Seahawks. The Legion of Boom ended too early with just one Super Bowl. That team was good enough to win two, if not three, definitely two, and they probably would have been back to get that third one. So why I say it's two blunders is Pete made it way too obvious to a lot of members on the team that it was Russell and everyone else. That was a major blunder. And then that led into the second huge blunder, which was doing a pass down at the goal line when you had a timeout. Let me tell you straightforward that the only play in that situation, having a timeout left, you have two timeouts, is to hand the ball off to the number one back in the league, and that's beast mode. There is no other play. There is no other, hey, let me throw up something that's real sophisticated and genius. No. You have two timeouts. You have the best back in the league. The guy was balling that game. You hand the ball off to beast mode and you get yourself the touchdown. And if you don't get the touchdown, you at least give him the opportunity to get the touchdown. There is no other play. Anything other than that play of handing the ball off to beast mode is a mistake. Can a mistake work? Sure. But to me, it's clear what the play was. And everybody knew it and expected it. And that was it. Because let me just say this much too about that play. Beast mode was having a beast mode game. He had about 130 yards, this is off the top of my head, on the ground and about almost 50 yards catching. And he already scored a touchdown. So that's a baller game in a nutshell right there. Not only that, he scores a touchdown. I don't care if he just gets in front of the mic and just says, I'm just here not to, because I don't want to get fined. I'm just here because I don't want to get fined. I don't care if that's what his response is. To me, I'm a person that you give credit where credit's due. Marshawn Lynch scores that touchdown. The Seahawks win the Super Bowl, but there is no other situation than Marshawn Lynch getting that MVP. He scores that touchdown. Because to me, if you give it to anyone else, that was a mistake. Because Russell Wilson, that game, with all due respect, had an okay game. He didn't have a great game. He didn't have a poor game. He had an average game, whereas Marshawn Lynch was balling. If, let's say, they handed it to someone else other than Marshawn, let's just say, to me, and you don't do a pass, let's say, to me, even if someone else runs it and gets a touchdown, I still think pretty much Marshawn Lynch is going to get the MVP. But he scores that touchdown, you hand it off, and he scores that touchdown, he gets 2, it's a slam dunk. There is no other option than to give it to him. And I think that's where Pete's downfall was. I think he wanted to get Russell that MVP. When you start thinking about something other than winning, the chance of you actually winning goes down. And that's what happened. To me, I look at his career as being a big success, but I see the 2 biggest blunders was letting that situation get out of control, the favoritism to Russ, which led into the big blunder in public, which was throwing the ball at the 1-yard line where you shouldn't have, just to hook your boy up to get his MVP. To me, that's my opinion, but based on all the facts that I got after and also what I seen and reports, you could pretty much read between the lines what was going on in that locker room and what was going on in the Seahawks. You just got to ask Richard Sherman, and he'll pretty much tell you there was a lot of favoritism, and it was leading to dissension in the team. It showed up, and it reared its ugly head in the wrong time on the biggest stage. But props to Pete Carroll. I got to give Pete Carroll credit, man, because he's coached some big time backs. I mean, Marshawn Lynch, Reggie Bush. I mean, yeah. So that's legit, man. But so big time hires and this weekend, and I'm gonna talk a little bit more about the playoffs. We got the Browns versus Texans. Again, that game is going to be 4:30 p.m. tomorrow on NBC and Fubo. Yeah, Fubo is pretty much, covering most of the games. Not everyone, but a lot of them. But in this game here, I just feel as if the Browns are going to win this game. As much as I like CJ Stroud, I just feel as if the defense that the Browns have, I love the fact that they have that gritty type of offense. I think they're going to be able to run the ball and have some success. They definitely got to bring their defensive game up, but I think the Browns are going to be able to take care of the Texans. The Dolphins and the Chiefs are at 8 p.m. It's a light game. That is on exclusively only on Peacock. That's what Lou was talking about. That game is the only game on Peacock, the Dolphins and the Chiefs. As much as the Chiefs have been faltering this year, I don't feel as if they're going to falter enough to lose to the Dolphins. With all due respect, I just feel as if the Dolphins defense is not strong enough. I feel as if the Dolphins are going to feel a little bit more nervous in this game. And the Chiefs had that rest. I just think that the Chiefs come playoffs are going to click. I do still think their drops are an issue, but I think they will have less drops and play more like the Chiefs. And I think they're going to need to do that to beat the Dolphins. But I do see the Chiefs beating the Dolphins and advancing. I'm not saying for sure that the Chiefs are going to go all the way, but I do think they'll make it past the first round. That's on Saturday's game. Then we have Sunday. Sunday's the 1 o'clock game is the Steelers against the Bills. The Steelers are at the Bills. This is on CBS streaming on Paramount, CBS or stream on Paramount Plus. Paramount Plus. So this can be a very good game. As I was saying earlier, I just feel as if the Bills are really, really in a good spot. They coming into the playoffs hot. They got to feel great about themselves. I just feel as if they have a little bit too much offense for the Steelers. I do think the Steelers have great defense, but I just think the Bills are going to put a little too much pressure on them. They're going to keep the defense working a little too hard, and they will have some opportunities. I do expect, unfortunately, Josh Allen to make probably a pick or two to make it real interesting, but I just think the Bills will move past the Steelers. The Packers and the Cowboys are the 4:30 p.m. East game. That's on Fox or Fubo or Fox. And the Packers and the Cowboys, this could be an upset for the Packers, but I just think, let me just see here. Give me 1 second, folks. Give me one moment. We just lost our connection on the Blog Talk Radio, as you can hear there. All right. So, yes, just want to make sure that we were still in line. We are. Beautiful. So, yes, as I was saying, Packers and the Cowboys, 4:30 p.m., Fox, Fubo. The Cowboys in the playoffs are hard to trust, but I do think they'll get past the Packers. Not that the Packers are any slouch, but I just feel as if I don't fully trust the Cowboys, but I don't think I trust them that much to lose the first round. I just think that you know, they got to make it past the first round. I think this is the year they do it. So I'm going to go on a limb and say the Cowboys will beat the Packers. The Rams at the Lions, 8 o'clock p.m., NBC or Fubo. It's going to be a tough game. That one's going to be real tough, but I'm going to go with the Lions. I like the Lions to get at least past the Rams. They should be able to do that. I hope they do that. It's, oh yeah, by the way, folks, man, I watched that documentary, Bye Bye Barry. Bye Bye Barry. And that is an outstanding documentary. Go check it out. It's on Amazon Prime. You just go ahead, Bye Bye Barry. And I say this with all due respect. I have met Emmett Smith a couple times. I pictured with Emmett. I've also interviewed Emmett at Daytona 500. He's an outstanding man, outstanding entrepreneur. Just really awesome to see him, Emmett doing his thing many years after he stopped playing. All due respect for him. This is not about Emmett. It's just about how great Barry Sanders is. To me, I said it even before the documentary, but even watching the documentary, even more so. Barry Sanders, to me, is the best running back that I've ever seen. He is just phenomenal. I mean, if you watch him, his film, going left and right, breaking tackles, spinning, I mean, just all the time, just phenomenal. And I'm glad I watched that documentary because it was always a mystery to me. Like, why did he stop playing? He retired too early, and he took the vacation. So I didn't really have answers. I know he kind of needed to clear his head. I know the fact that he needed to kind of literally get away from it all. But it answered a lot of questions for me. It made sense to me why Barry Sanders retired when he did. I don't think it was just the losing. I think it was a situation where a season his dad talked him into playing the season. Like, you think he retired early. The last season he played, his dad had to convince him and talk him into playing that last season. So it's a situation where the man has been playing football for a long time. I feel as if a couple things happened when the Lions got rid of a lot of his war buddies that were there for many, many years. Even though the team was losing, he still believed in his brothers that were on the team that were been there a long time, that they were going to catch lightning in a bottle. The team was going to get some other great free agents and go back to their winning ways, because they did have a couple seasons they went deep in the playoffs. When they got rid of some of his brothers that were there for a long time, and then the team was losing a lot, I feel as if Barry was like, you know what, there's nothing to play for. My heart is not into it. The desire is not into it. Those other guys, there was also two guys who got paralyzed. I think it was a combination of things, but the crux of it wasn't just the losing. I think with Barry, the way I've never met Barry Sanders, I got the impression that the man just lost his passion and his drive to compete at the highest level. And that's what really drove him. Once that drive was out, I think his father convinced him to stick around, but I think he was already looking for exit stage left. And at least his dad talked him into one extra season, but I don't think it was enough with the things that happened that it was going to enough for his dad, even his own dad, to convince him to come back another season. I still believe Barry Sanders, my opinion, is the best and number one back in the league. I still think Jerry Rice is the number one wide receiver to ever play in the NFL. And the reason why I think that is because it's not just the records. I've read the man's book, and I've also watched Jerry Rice. It's his work ethic, the fact that he was able to play in so many big games, the fact that he stayed on the field, say distraction free, not a bunch of controversy. He had a lot of longevity and a lot of records. There was a lot that went into Jerry Rice and me feeling as if he's number one. Do I think there was more talented guys throughout the league that I've seen? Oh yeah, there, and even Jared would even admit it. Faster, longer, even run better routes. But all things being said, to me, the number one elite and number one receiver that I've seen in NFL is still Jerry Rice. Worth ethic, consistency, played in big games, stayed out of trouble, had longevity, until he got older and got hurt. He was pretty much catching everything. And he had to catch with a righty who threw a ball a little bit with more air underneath it, a little bit more loft, Joe Montana. Then he had a guy that was kind of like Michael Vick and Steve Young, where he's just dipping out and lefty. So we can have the debate sometime on the show. But yeah, those are my things. And then drum roll, please. Drum roll, please. So the game of the week is on Monday night. That is the Eagles at the Bucks right here in Tampa Bay. The Eagles at the Bucks, 8:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time game, night game, ABC, ESPN, and Fubo. ABC, ESPN, and Fubo, Monday night game. Yeah, I think this is a great opportunity for the Bucks to get a playoff win. I believe the Bucks will pull off the upset and beat the Eagles. I repeat that. I believe the Bucks will pull off the upset and beat the Eagles. I think they're getting the Eagles at the right time. The Eagles are not 100%. I think this is going to be a low scoring, grinded out type game. I just feel as if the defense got to step up. Baker Mayfield got to step up. White's got to step up. I mean, the Bucks got to step up to win this game, but I do think they will gear up and do what they need to do, and I think the Bucks will beat the Eagles. The Eagles are dealing with some injuries, but hey, injuries are part of this league. You got to take advantage. You're on the other team. I think the Bucks are going to go ahead and beat the Eagles. So I have the Bucks winning against the Eagles tomorrow. Not tomorrow, Monday Night Football. Baker Mayfield got to do his thing. So that wraps up the Monday and the this playoff weekend. So we got some big things happening here in the sports world. Just if you're joining us, let me just give you that phone number in the future: 516 418 5572. 516 418 5572. So to bring up the speed, I just want to let you guys know that yes, I am going to do a bit more live streams in 2024. I won't promise or commit to doing it all the time. I will do more often than I did in 2023, which was not too many live streams. I love live streams, but I kind of don't like live streams because, when you schedule things with live streams, somebody doesn't do what they're supposed to do, and then it doesn't come across as well as I would like. That's the way it goes. But I definitely want to do more live streams in 2024. That is the goal. In fact, my great friend Youthman, Michael Stevens, you got to check that out. Type in Youthman, see that video, the home theater video. But he told me, encouraged me, you need to get in front of the camera a bit more. And also fans have been telling me that too. And I'm like, okay, I don't want to be in the camera, in your face all the time, but I need to make a conscious effort to go ahead and do it a bit more frequently. So you have my word, I'm gonna do that. Got a lot of great things coming up in January, so keep your eye out on the Facebook page, Alan Alford Sports Talk Show, and YouTube. Right here at YouTube, type in Alan Alford. Please follow, subscribe to the channel. It'd be fantastic. But yes, we're gonna do that. This is gonna be a big year for 2024. I'm always positive that things are gonna work itself out. And one thing that always works itself out and never lets me down is definitely none other than the man himself, Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce. So delicious and addicting, you may need a support group. Definitely check out Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce right here at 301 South 22nd Street, Tampa, Florida. Check him on out and just let him know the Allen Alfred Sports Talk Show sent you. You can also see Chef G's right here at flbbqsauce.com. Again, it's flbbqsauce.com. Check out the classic, fusion, honey mustard, or I know I'm missing one. Heat Wave. There we go. Heat Wave, classic, honey mustard, and fusion. There you go. All four. flbbqsauce.com. flbbqsauce.com. We're going to go ahead and play the Sam Scola Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce song for you. Again, that song is written by Sam Scola right there out of Maine. Really appreciate Sam Scola and his beautiful wife, Mary. So definitely, if you need a songwriter, you need to sign somebody for a big time contract. He's even on Spotify, folks. Type in Sam Scola. Reach out to me here at the Allen Alfred Sports Talk Show, and I will connect you with Sam Scola. You guys need to give him that big deal because he is a big time songwriter. In fact, let me play one of his great songs, the Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce song, right here on the Allen Alfred Sports Talk Show. Chef G's Florida Bug Sauce. So delicious and addicting. You may need support group. Definitely don't forget to check them out at flbbqsauce.com. flbbqsauce.com. So that brings us to the conclusion of another great Alan Alford Sports Talk show. So definitely, once again, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, Alan Alford, or follow us on Facebook, Alan Alford Sports Talk Show. And you can visit us at Instagram. Please support. Really appreciate you guys supporting this channel. Really appreciate you guys listening to another great episode of the Alan Alford Sports Talk Show. I will be back again next Friday. Feel free to save this number, 516-418-5572. Again, it's 516-418-5572. And I'll be back next Friday. Same bat time, same bat channel. That is 8:30 p.m. Central Time, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time Zone. So we're going to have a lot going on for you. Definitely coming on in the next few weeks. But be blessed, be well, take care of yourself. Until we meet again, have a great night. I'll see you again at the Alan Alford Sports Talk Show.